Hey Rebel Masters, Israel Kimmon here from inthayword.com, and today I want to share with you how you may be actually robbing yourself of God's blessing. And then I'm going to show you how you can actually switch things around and actually receive more of God's blessing. And blessing biblically means following God and Him providing the things you need in order to serve Him better. This may mean money, connections, position. This could even mean losing nearly everything for a season. But the point is, God's blessing always elevates His children, and it's not something you should be afraid of. In fact, it's something you are entitled to as His child and should be expecting. As time goes on, I realize more and more, many Christians today are robbing themselves of God's blessings in a common way. And really and truly, this is the devil's plan, because he comes to steal, kill and destroy, John says. Even once you see what I'm talking about today, just know it will still try to hold you back going forward. But I'm going to show you what to do every single time this happens. Let me share with you a recent example and think about if you can relate. This morning, while doing research for your next live stream on the Gospel of Luke, which by the way is actually going to be epic, I found a scholarly work I knew would be helpful for you, but there was a problem, a big problem. I'll show you a picture for you to ultimately see, and you'll glorify God when you hear what happens after. As the picture shows, if you do not have access through an institution, which I do not, you have to pay £127, which is about $150, for one piece of research. And to be honest, I don't have that sort of money right now to just purchase these sorts of resources, even as much as I'd like to. Game over. This is where the story normally ends for most of us as Christians. We are trying to be better Christians. We are trying to figure out how we can best serve God's church. But things like this stop us in our tracks. I was deflated at this point because I really wanted to read several things before doing this live stream, because I knew it would obviously make the live stream even better. And as the seconds started to pass by, I saw myself heading down a common road I've walked down all too often over the week. I spoke about this recently in my video about a rough night I had, but instead of being stopped in my tracks, I said something which I want you to start saying. You want to stop robbing yourself of God's blessings for your life, and actually start allowing God's blessing to fully mature in your life. Because if I did not say what I'm about to share next, you would never have watched this video, and this Luke live stream I'm talking about would not be epic. So this is what I said as I stared at this computer screen, seconds after being hit with a $150 price tag. I took a deep breath, I cleared my thoughts, and then I said, if this work is for the Lord, He will make a way. Before I share with you what happened next, I want to explain a simple formula for you. If God wants you to do something, plus you follow what God wants, that equals success, completion. It has to be done. For example, if God really wants me to do a verse-by-verse study on Luke, plus if I follow and I'm doing my best to make it happen, this equals it will happen for as long as the Lord wants it to happen. In the Bible, Jesus sent His disciples, for example, to Israelite cities to prepare them for His coming. He said in Matthew 10 verse 9 to 10, "Provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your purses, nor scrip for journey, neither 2 coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves, for the workman is worthy of his meat." Do you think if they went in full obedience, Christ would have sent them and they would have ultimately died of starvation because no one was willing to welcome them into their home? God provides whatever you need, not what you think you need, but what He knows you need in order to complete a task He has for you, and He did for me. But before I tell you how, it's important for you to realize many times we move forward and hit roadblocks. We get discouraged and we stop and even want to move backwards. Just like the Israelites after God saved them from bondage in Egypt. The Israelites said in Numbers chapter 14 verse 2 to 4, "Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore has the Lord brought us out of this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt?" And they said one to another, "Let us make a captain and let us return into Egypt." Let me tell you, Bible Master, this is when we should keep moving forward, allowing God to show His mighty hand in our lives. Imagine if every time you are stuck doing things for God, you waited on the Lord to work His majestic power. How much better would your walk be? Not long after hitting this roadblock, like I said before, I'll say it again. This work is for the Lord, He will make a way. And I prayed a quick 5-second prayer, something along the lines of, "Lord, have your way in this situation. Give me more faith to trust you in this particular situation." I dusted myself off and began wondering how the Lord would make a way. As I looked at my computer screen, I began to type the name of the work into Google. If memory serves, I saw multiple examples of where to purchase the same work for the same hefty price. And this was when I saw that this scholarly work had been converted into a book. But there was a problem. Like many scholarly works which are converted into a book, there is limited supply. So finding a copy of the book was not going to be that easy. And many times they still have a heavy price tag as well. By the end of the day though, I was able to find the same work and purchase the book version for less than £15, less than $20. It wasn't free, but so much more manageable for me and worth it to be a blessing to you. God is obviously awesome, right? But there was another problem. A few days later, when seeking information about when it would obviously arrive, I was told they were out of copies. I had no idea when it would be restocked. By the way, this item is still out of stock nearly 3 months later. Imagine if I waited for that vendor. But having gone through examples like this and having gone through everything I've shared with you so far today, I didn't let it stop me. I pushed forward and I leaned in. I was able to purchase the book for only a couple dollars more. And this one did arrive. I did read through it and I'm much better for reading through it after. But this video isn't about the book, it's about the blessing I could have robbed myself of by stopping instead of moving forward closer to God. But I can only testify today and help you because I kept moving forward. And as this helps you in your walk going forward, it was worth every penny. So move forward, Bible Master.